Hey, Kopi money investors. Keppel Infrastructure Trust, KIT, is trading at around 53 cents. And at this price, it's offering something that immediately grabs attention: a dividend yield of about 7.5%. That sounds like easy, steady income. But here's the real question for 2026. Is KIT a safe infrastructure cash flow machine, or is this high yield actually an infrastructure trap, with debt, refinancing pressure, and Fed rates staying higher for longer? Before we begin, just a quick note. This video is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. All information is based on public SGX filings released on 3rd February 2026. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions. Today, we're breaking down KIT's full-year FY 2025 results and will answer one simple question: at 53 cents, is KIT undervalued income or overpriced risk? If you find this kind of Singapore-focused dividend analysis useful, please like the video, subscribe to Wealth for You, and let's walk this income journey together. All right, let's go. Chapter 1. What is a business trust? First, let's get one important thing clear. Keppel Infrastructure Trust, KIT, is not a REIT. It is a business trust. And that difference really matters. A REIT is simple. It owns buildings, collects rent, and distributes rental income. But a business trust is different. Instead of just owning property, it owns real operating infrastructure businesses. The kind of assets society depends on every day. Things like gas utilities, waste-to-energy plants, chemical distribution networks, and public transport services. So KIT isn't earning rent from tenants. It's generating cash flow from essential operations. That's also why business trusts can sometimes pay distributions from retained cash flow, not strictly from accounting profit alone. In other words, KIT is closer to an infrastructure income engine, not a landlord. Chapter 2. What exactly is KIT? So what exactly is Keppel Infrastructure Trust? KIT is one of the largest infrastructure trusts listed on the SGX, and it plays in a very different space compared to typical REITs. As of end 2025, KIT manages a portfolio worth about 9.1 billion Singapore dollars of assets. And these assets aren't concentrated in one place. They are spread across developed, stable markets such as Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, Germany, and more. KIT operates across 4 key segments. First is energy transition, covering gas supply, renewables, and power-related assets. Second is environmental services, including waste-to-energy plants and critical water infrastructure. Third is distribution and storage, anchored by IXOM, a major chemicals and logistics platform. And fourth is digital infrastructure, through Global Marine Group, which supports subsea cable maintenance, the invisible backbone of global connectivity. These are not nice-to-have assets. These are the essential systems that societies literally run on every day. And that's the core appeal of KIT. Chapter 3. FY 25 Full-Year Financial Results, released 3rd February 2026. Now, let's talk numbers. The real foundation of any income trust. KIT's full-year FY 2025 results were officially released on the SGX on 3rd February 2026. And the headline is this: KIT delivered stronger cash performance while keeping distributions steady. Here are the key highlights. For the full year, gross revenue came in at 2.28 billion Singapore dollars. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, or EBITDA, was 493 million. Funds from operations reached 326 million. And distributable income was 249.5 million. What's important is that this distributable income was not flat. It was up 24.4% year-on-year. And despite the shifting rate environment, distributions remained stable. FY 2025 DPU was 3.94 cents. So operationally, KIT managed to grow distributable income, while continuing to deliver steady payouts to unit holders. Chapter 4. Valuation at 53 cents. Cheap or expensive? Now let's look beyond the dividend yield because, well, income is only one part of the story. At a unit price of 53 cents, KIT is not a small trust. Its market capitalization is about 3.2 billion Singapore dollars. On valuation metrics, it trades at a price-to-earnings ratio in the mid to high 20s, and its price-to-book is roughly around 2 times. So, it's not exactly dirt cheap on earnings or book value. Now let's talk about gearing, because for income trusts, leverage really matters. KIT's net gearing stands at 38.7%. That's important context. It sits below the typical MAS REIT leverage ceiling of around 50%. KIT isn't a REIT, but this benchmark helps us understand the risk level. Debt is meaningful, but it's not extreme. So the valuation picture is mixed. On one hand, the yield looks attractive. On the other hand, the earnings and book multiples are not cheap. This isn't a deep bargain. It's a priced income trust, offering steady yield but not without valuation discipline. Chapter 5. Dividend, Yield, and Sustainability. The real kopi question. For income investors, this is the key payout. KIT declared a second half 2025 distribution of 1.97 cents per unit, and for most investors, this is tax-exempt. The important dates to remember are ex-dividend date, 10th February 2026. Payment date, 20th February 2026. So, if you held KIT before the ex-date, you received that cash payout in February. Over the full year, KIT paid a total of 3.94 cents, which is essentially 2 halves of 1.97 cents. Now let's connect that to the headline. KIT at 53 cents. Dividend yield is simple annual DPU divided by unit price. So 3.94 cents divided by 53 cents gives about 0.074, which translates into a yield of roughly 7.4 to 7.6%. That's where the attractive 7.5% dividend narrative comes from. Forward yield is similar, around 7.5% or more, assuming payouts remain stable. On paper, this is strong kopi money income. But here's the most important question. Is the dividend sustainable? KIT's full year 2025 operating cash flow was strong, around 318 million Singapore dollars. And distributions were supported by distributable income of about 250 million Singapore dollars. So, coverage looks reasonable. KIT also ended the year with a cash balance of about 701 million Singapore dollars. So near term, the dividend is supported. But the nuance is this. Some income uplift came from divestment gains or asset recycling. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but investors must keep watching. Are distributions driven mainly by recurring operations or boosted by one-off sales? So dividend sustainability looks okay today, but it really requires monitoring. Chapter 6. Key risks income investors must watch. Now let's talk about the other side of the story, the infrastructure trap risk. Because KT has real strengths, but it also comes with real risks that income investors need to understand clearly. The first is interest rate risk. If global rates stay higher for longer, borrowing remains expensive. And that matters for any infrastructure trust that carries meaningful debt, even if much of it is hedged. The second is refinancing risk. KAT has debt maturities ahead, including around 330 million Singapore dollars at the trust level due in late 2026. Refinancing at higher interest rates could pressure distributable income and, over time, future DPU. Management has taken steps here. With over 70% of total debt fixed or hedged, and early refinancing commitments already secured for ICSOM's $663 million loan, but it remains a key watch point. Third is cash flow complexity. Diversification is good, but not all infrastructure cash flows are equally smooth. For example, KIT's renewables portfolio saw a year-on-year decline in wind farm contributions in FY 2025 due to lower power prices and production variability. And finally, there is yield illusion risk. KIT recorded 49 million Singapore dollars in divestment gains in 2025 from asset recycling. That's not automatically a red flag. It is part of their strategy. But investors must still watch carefully. Are distributions driven mainly by recurring operating cash flows, or increasingly supported by one-off asset sales? So KIT is not risk-free kopi. It is attractive income, but income with moving parts, especially as we head deeper into the 2026 rate cycle. Chapter 7. Benefits. Why investors still hold KIT. So after talking about the risks, the next question is, why do so many income investors still hold KIT? The answer is simple. First, the yield is genuinely attractive. At around 7.5% at 53 cents, KIT offers meaningful kopi money income in today's market. Second, the assets themselves are essential. These are defensive infrastructure businesses, the kind that keep running whether markets are bullish or bearish. Third, KIT's portfolio is diversified globally, across multiple developed markets and multiple infrastructure segments. Fourth, gearing remains moderate. At around 38.7%, leverage is meaningful, but not extreme compared to many income trusts. Fifth, the cash flows are largely recurring. KIT is built around long-duration, operational infrastructure income, not one-off speculation. And finally, KIT is backed by Keppel's operational and asset management expertise, which matters in a sector where execution is everything. So KIT is designed to be boring infrastructure income, not speculative growth. And for many Singapore income investors, boring is exactly what you want. Chapter 7. Future Prospects. Fed Rates and 2026 Outlook. Now we zoom out to the bigger macro question. What happens next? The Fed is expected to hold rates steady for now, and that matters because the interest rate path is one of the biggest drivers for income trusts like KIT. If rates stay high for longer, borrowing costs remain elevated. That means KIT may stay more range-bound, and refinancing becomes the key watch point going into late 2026. But if rates fall later in 2026 or into 2027, the picture changes. Financing costs ease. Income trusts often re-rate higher, and a 7 to 8% yield starts to look even more attractive compared to bonds. So KIT's future upside is tied closely to one thing: the rate cycle. Not hype, just math. Final thoughts. What Singapore income investors should consider. So let's bring it home. KIT at 53 cents offers a clear income proposition, a yield of around 7.5%, backed by essential infrastructure cash flows and stable FY 2025 distributions. But it also comes with realities you must respect: debt refinancing sensitivity, interest rate risk, and some reliance on asset recycling as part of its strategy. So ask yourself honestly, are you buying KIT for steady income today? Or are you expecting big price upside tomorrow? KIT is for investors who want to be cash flow rich, not headline rich. One cup of kopi at a time. If this breakdown helped you think more clearly about KIT, give the video a like, subscribe to Wealth for You for more Singapore-focused income investing analysis, and comment below. Would you hold KIT for the next 5 years? Or do you see this as an infrastructure trap? See you in the next one.